Yeah. Well, the good news is that, like you said, we are going to get some good fights, best versus best, right? And speaking of too good to be true, are we really going to get this Canelo versus Crawford fight? I mean, this is crazy, right? No?
Yeah, it is. It is a crazy. It is a crazy fight, crazy matchup. It's a fantasy type of fight. Um, it's for Crawford and Canelo. It's a career-defining fight, I think, too. Canelo, of course, can't afford to lose to Crawford. Especially a guy coming up in weight. Canelo has all the advantages. You know, and if he loses to Crawford, no, it won't hurt his legacy at all. Crawford's a pound for pound guy, arguably the best pound for pound fighter in the world, depending on, again, you got accolades involved in this too. What Usyk has done, within the last couple of years has been phenomenal. So you can't deny him that top spot. But Crawford's been one, two, or three, wherever you put him at, for years, over a decade on the pound for pound list. So he definitely will get props from me, if he beats Terrence Crawford, although again, all advantages favor Canelo. Just the weight advantage. He's been at 168 for a while now. He was the once undisputed champion. But again, he's a unified champion there, and he's beat some quality opponents. But yeah, this is going to be a hell of a challenge for Crawford. This won't be easy. No, no, it won't be easy. I know I like to clown and I like to have fun with it too. You know what I'm saying? I think it's definitely a winnable fight for him. I don't think I think that anything is possible in his life. I think that there's a solution to every single problem, besides death itself. And that's just what it is. If anybody's going to get the job done, I think Crawford has that ability. Um, he's a different level of an athlete. He's like cut from the cloth, I believe, of like a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, even Andre Ward. Shoot, and I do see it in Shakur Stevenson. This competitiveness to be the best. They would rather die before they lose. It's on another level. And he has that, and he has all the tools to go along with that as well. Um, Whether you say Crawford's resume is this or that, or he ain't fought nobody or whatever. Like, one thing you can't deny is that his skill set. You can't deny his skill set. And what he's been able to accomplish with that skill set in the game. You can't deny that. So hell of a fight. I think we're gonna get it, from the looks and again what I've been reading. We're gonna get the fight. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really care for the fights. There's some people saying, "Why is this fight even happening?" Well, the fight's happening because the only other fight that everybody want to watch Canelo fight, and for Canelo to be able to generate that money, is Benavidez, and Canelo's not willing to face him. So you need to be mad at Canelo and not mad at anybody else, not mad at Crawford for stepping up and saying, I want to fight you. Because if you look at Canelo's career, even when he fought Floyd Mayweather, even when he fought Bivol, he's fighting Bud Crawford, and he's making the most money he's ever made in his entire career
Mm,
in one night.
mm.
So say what you want, there's value to that, and thanks to Riyadh season, they're able to deliver the matchup. And so we'll see what happens. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in September.
One of my guys did an interview with Bud right before the Spence fight. I think he was doing a media workout or something, and he asked him if he would consider fighting Canelo. And at the time, Bud said, Canelo at 168? Oh, hell no, that's too much weight. That was before the Spence fight. What do you think changed in Bud? Did he see something? Was he watching some tape? Did he reassess it and say, you know what, on second thought, 168 is not a problem. I can beat that guy.
I think he reassessed it. I think at the time, he was just looking at the weight and saying, no, not really. But then when he really thought about it, and he realized how much he walked around, what his walk around weight is, uh, how he felt when he got to a certain weight. He's just like, you know what, I think I could do it. Then you put the money on top of it. That's a driving force of itself, a motivation. And then you put his mentality, and then you put all the hatred that's been towards him in his entire career, over the course of his career. Yes, you have some that love Bud, but you got a lot that actually hate him and then think that he's overrated, this and this. And so he's saying to himself, all right, well, I'll do the ultimate challenge. Y'all don't believe in me, no way. No, y'all don't believe in me anyway. So you know what? I'm gonna prove to y'all how great my skills are. I'm gonna prove to y'all how great I am. I want to fight Canelo Alvarez now. So I'm willing to take that chance and that risk. I believe in my skills. I believe in everything that I have, in my heart, that I can beat him now, because I see something by watching him. He watched him live several times, I'm sure. And he picked up some things, and he put himself inside that ring and like, hey, I could take advantage of him here. Ooh, I see that. You know what? He's not as quick. You know what I mean? He looked like he can punch. However, he ain't gonna be hitting me with that. You know what I mean? So that's what fighters do. We put ourselves inside the ring with guys. And again, like, we see from the outside looking in, but he still got to get in there and he still got to execute. He still got to go in there, and he got to take those punches, because Canelo Alvarez ain't no slouch. Canelo Alvarez is an all-time great. I don't care how you look at it. He's reigned for a very long time on a pound-for-pound list. He's accomplished so much in the sport. 4-division world champion, undisputed, unified champion many times. Has well over 15 world championships and reigning. And he's fought some good competition too. Early in his career, he's fought some good, and he's fought the best. Besides Benavidez, he is.
Right.
you know, but anyways, he's paid his dues. So he's a tremendous fighter. Again, an all-time great. Whether you have him number one, number two of Mexico, that depends on you. But he is a great fighter.
Have you done any tape study on the fight at all?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. You already did your research. How much do you think how much do you think Canelo has changed since he fought Floyd? Obviously, that's probably the fight that they're gonna compare the Bud fight to. And how much has Bud changed since back in the day when you were working with him?
Well, I could just tell you this, just from a control standpoint. I think that Canelo has gotten 1,000 times better when he fought Floyd. Floyd, he was a little wet behind the ears, so to speak. He was good. Very athletic fighter, strong. Took a little bit more risk, threw more combinations. Pressed forward. He's a lot smarter now. A lot more reserved, a lot more control. It's like, having somebody that knows how to handle a horse. You jump on a horse and he's in total control. He's smooth with it, versus somebody that, never been on a horse, get on it for the first time. The horse can almost feel that he's timid, and kind of start to like control him if you can't control him. But Canelo can control what's going on inside that ring. That's what makes him dangerous. Canelo's the type of fighter that can slow down the pace of a fight. His style has slowed down a bit, I would say, to where he doesn't move as much. He's plodding forward at 168 pounds. He's strong. He believes in his power. He's kind of developed a set of combinations to where, he's looking to land certain power shots. I think the difference in this fight is going to be the fact that Crawford can fight from the southpaw stance. Canelo has faced, he fought Billy Joe Saunders just recently. He fought against Ryder. Billy Joe was more fleet-footed, but didn't have, too much of pop. So he would come forward and he would pressure him. But he's not as smart as Crawford. Crawford is extremely smart, great counterpuncher. And Crawford will commit. He will commit with his offense. Whereas Billy Joe, he was a little, a little sketchy in certain areas. He moved in certain areas to where Canelo knew he had the perfect punch for him, which was with that right hand, where he busted his eye socket. But Crawford doesn't have those type of tendencies that, Billy Joe has. So from the southpaw stance, I'm going to tell you the advantage that I believe Crawford has. Canelo, if you watch him against orthodox fighters, he beats that lead shoulder. He targets the lead shoulder with that backhand. The only difference is from the southpaw stance, he won't have that ability to be able to kill the shoulder of Crawford. So that's one great area that Crawford, could have the upper hand, because again, he's not going to get that lead shoulder beat like a Bivol got his lead shoulder beat with that right hand. But the only downside to that is that he's not going to have the shoulder, but he's going to have that head. And this is where Crawford has to be smart, because Canelo has that looping right hand, and he looks to land it around that guard. So for Crawford to be effective, he's going to have to make a miss, not necessarily catch, but make him miss more times than allowing him to land and catch shots. I think Crawford has that ability to make a miss, he knows it's coming. Canelo has a certain set of combinations that he likes to throw against the southpaw. I know it, he likes to close distance with the double jab. Again, the head sits a little further back when you're facing a southpaw. Sits a little further back because it's coming from this angle. Now, you got to be able to close distance in that. And the way that Canelo does is he uses the double jab, and he either shoots that looping right hand or he goes down to the body with it. Crawford's going to know that. Crawford's going to have something for it. And at the same time, when Canelo throws that backhand, he exposes himself. He drops the opposite hand. Well, Crawford has a beautiful check right hook that he can land on him, and turn that corner. So I see various things like that. I see the 2-1 combination being a factor as well. Canelo, that's a punch that Canelo gets hit with often with southpaws. I think Crawford has one of the better 2-1 combinations. You saw it when he fought against Kell Brook. He used it very, very well against him. Canelo, again, is a plotter. Canelo is a superior, boxer puncher. He likes to think, and Crawford is all about the thinking game. He doesn't mind taking his time and controlling the space in between and using his jab. He has a 74-inch reach versus a 71-inch reach, so he has a 3-inch reach advantage. He can keep him outside with the stick, keep him guessing, feinting him from the outside, just controlling Canelo, because Canelo likes to be in position and have his feet in position before he lets his combinations fly. Canelo if his balance is not right, Canelo's not going to be shooting punches. He's not going to throw. I'm telling you. Canelo is the type of guy that likes to have his feet planted, and then he has a quick first step. Then he'll let his offense go. Either left hook to the body, left hook upstairs, and he will shoot the jab against the southpaw as well. But I think Crawford, again, has a more control. He's just smart, man. Canelo and Crawford, Canelo has a high IQ, but I think that Crawford has even higher IQ than Canelo Alvarez, and I feel that he can do much more inside that ring. A lot of this stuff, maybe you guys might understand. You might understand it, you might not. I'm saying a lot. I'm saying a lot right now, man. You know what I mean? The true diehard boxing that know the X's and O's, they know what I'm talking about. And Canelo, being a plotter, you're here. If you go there, he has to reposition. As he's repositioning, pop, 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 you're able to land and counter. So I feel that Crawford having a high IQ, having the southpaw stance, having the punch arsenal needed, he's going to be able to avoid the big punch, plus land his offense and be able to control Canelo. Whereas all these other fighters that don't have the high IQ and don't have the ability to be able to slow down Canelo and not allow Canelo to get in position to where Canelo is successful. And that's mid-range. If Crawford's mid-range, he's dead meat. He needs to be all the way in the pocket or all the way out. If he does that, he can win the fight. Of course, Canelo will ramp up the intensity, as the fight goes on. Crawford's going to have to be in dog shape. I'm talking about dog shape, and people don't realize that being in dog shape doesn't mean just, working out and lifting weights and, running 24/7. That means that your nutrition got to be on point. So anybody want to know why Crawford is how he is because he lives a clean life. Crawford has never intaken any kind of drugs or any kind of illegal substance in his body. You know, you take care of yourself from that aspect, you have an advantage. You know, if you're eating healthy and he eats healthy, you know, he takes care of himself even after he gets done fighting. You know, so that's an advantage. That's stamina in itself. You know, you're giving your cells the nutrients, your muscles the nutrients they need to function at a high level and to be efficient when you need oxygen. You know, and he has that ability. I feel that Canelo fades late too. You know, I mean, it's, you know, don't take a rocket science to see that. 66 fights, you know, worn down. As the fight goes on, he's going to wear down little by little. The harder he tries, the more he gets hit. He's going to have to on the back end. He's going to have to push himself because I know Crawford on the back end. If he's down on the cards, he's going to step on the gas. You know, Canelo has been showing the fade. I say 8th round. By the 8th round, he starts to slow down a bit. You know, he starts to get hit with offense. Go back and watch a lot of his fights that he fought against Ryder. Ryder was catching him with uppercuts up the middle. Ryder was able to bag him up. You can go back and you can watch the fight when he fought against what's that boy name? Munguia. Munguia was able to put combinations on Canelo. Canelo was standing there with that high guard, you know, bringing his hips forward, you know, and being stuck in the mud, you know, and Canelo wouldn't punch until he got done. Well, if Crawford decides to go forward and let his combinations go, guess what's going to happen? Canelo's going to be blocking. But then Crawford ain't going to be there to take anything afterwards. So, I mean, there's a lot of areas where I see that Crawford can have the advantage, man. The disadvantages is mid-range. You stay mid-range, you're doomed. If you all the way inside, you got total control. So these are various things that I see, man.
You don't think the size is going to be an issue at all?
That's why I say, look, that's why I say he got to be in dog shape. He got to be in dog shape because he could face in the tank. He got to, you know, the tank is Canelo. He got to be in dog shape because he's going to punch him and he's going to punch him and he's going to punch him. And he's going to feel like he can't hurt him, you know, but he just got to keep punching. And that's why he got to be in tip top shape in order to deal with that. Now, the size on the inside, no, hell no. Absolutely not. Wrestling background. Wrestling background is technique. You know, Crawford has a wrestling background that's going to help him, especially inside the pocket. You know, if Canelo's not punching and they're fighting for position on the inside, you know, hand placement, putting your arms, underlocks, overhooks, you know, underhooks, Crawford going to win that battle every single time. You know, again, it's the time at which you do things inside that ring. And you have the great technique to be able to and understand when you need to do them. You know, as soon as the clinch happens, I mean, you can back a guy up real quick. You can turn him. Crawford has all those abilities, man. He understands leverage and understands his strength and body. So when you fought against Spence, and everybody was like, Spence is strong. Spence is stronger than Crawford. And Crawford got in there and threw Spence around that ring like he was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Crawford fought against Madrimov. Everybody's like, well, he's strong. Yeah, he's strong. He's strong. But shit, Crawford was strong too. And he kept him under 300 punches, thrown in 12 rounds. Do the math. Go ahead and give me the average. Do the math. Under 300 punches in 12-round fight. And he fighting against a bull that like to throw combinations, that like to, you know, put his combinations together. Why do you think he slowed him down? IQ. Also, he didn't want to get hit with that offense that was coming back. Whether you say it wasn't effective or not, yes, it was. He felt those punches and he wasn't willing to take that risk because he knew what was attached to that. It was going to be hurt attached to that. So, you know, I think Crawford has the ability to slow down Canelo even more. You know, I look at a fight like Berlanga, you know, who was 200 and something pounds, of course, but the subtle things. I look at the subtle things, what Berlanga was doing to isolate Canelo, to keep Canelo at bay. He wasn't necessarily hitting him. He didn't have to. You know, Canelo's a thinking fighter. All you got to do is make him think, and he will slow the fuck down. You got to make him think. Crawford can make him think and slow him the fuck down.
You know, a lot of Canelo fans will obviously they'll see this interview, but they'll point out the Madrimov fight and say that's the reason why Canelo should be favored. A lot of them will say Crawford didn't really look as good, and Madrimov was able to touch him. And if Madrimov touched him, imagine what happens when Canelo touches him. Are they looking at that fight differently than how you looked at it?
No, look, I'll be a fool not to be concerned with the power of Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody be the fool to be, you know what I mean? Crawford got knocked down by right hand. Madrimov was landing his right hand. I'll be a fool not to say that, like, no, the power, Crawford got to be careful of that power. Madrimov, yeah, he landed his right hand, but did you ever see it visibly hurt Crawford? Did he wobble? Did he, Did he, Like, no, you never saw that. So how effective was that punch? It landed, but it wasn't really effective. It didn't bother him. It didn't stop him from doing what he had to do. When there was a point in the fight where you saw Crawford, the corner was like, hey, look, you got to step it up. Let's step it up. And what did you see Crawford do? He stepped it up on his ass. You see what I'm saying? See, so like I know what I'm gonna get, and I'm willing to take that risk with Bud Crawford, because again, he's a type of fighter that doesn't care. Like, I want to win, and I'm gonna win by all any means necessary. If I gotta step on the gas and take chances, I'm gonna do that when I have to, But of course, the power is something that you definitely got to worry about, with Canelo. If he lands, what's going to happen? But I always say this to my counter. If Canelo lands flush and Crawford don't go anywhere, uh-oh. What about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll give you that. If he lands, we're going to see what's going to happen. If he gets wobbled or whatever. But if he doesn't, then what do you think then? You know what I mean? There's going to be a problem. So, but the difference between Canelo and Madrimov is completely different styles. People forget that styles make fights. The Madrimov style is a lot more trickier in a sense. Canelo has the feint game that can make things difficult for Crawford. Canelo goes back to, moving his head excessively. That can switch his rhythm up. Yeah. That can become problematic. However, as of late, he hasn't. That in and out movement from Madrimov, that's difficult to time. He's surprising. You're looking at his hands and his upper body movement, and he's inching closer, and he's getting closer to you, and he's bouncing in and out of range. That's difficult to be able to find his timing. And so you're playing a guessing game, and you're moving at the same time. And there was times where Crawford would just get caught standing still. And, you don't think Crawford's going to go back and fix that, like that was an opening. So it's like, okay, all right, well, I got to move my head a little bit more. I got to get in my rhythm a little bit more and not leave my head straight down the middle anymore. So he's going to learn from that. But that's the reason why Madrimov was able to land, but Canelo doesn't bounce in and out like that. Canelo doesn't have that type of style where he's constantly changing his rhythm. And no, Canelo is a plotter, man. He likes to plot forward. He fights out from a distance, and he inches his way close. And once his feet are planted, and once he sees and locates an attack, then he'll attack. Quick first step, and usually it's either off the jab or, even off a left hook, lead left hook. So, but yeah, man, it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. Of course, Canelo definitely should be the favorite, without question. But it's interesting to me to see that the odds are really close as of right now.
Right.
Odds are extremely close right now, man. Which is funny. It's funny to me. Because I think the odds makers, they don't know how to approach this fight because of the skill set. But I would say this. I was the first one to say it. I was the first one to say that Crawford definitely has a chance. Everybody else was waiting on me to say something before they did. All right, Tim said it. All right, damn, I was believing this, but I was too afraid to say it. I was too afraid to say it, and now everybody's coming out and saying that Crawford got a chance. And that's, you see the odds. You see the odds and how they are. They not sure. They know Canelo is towards the back end of his career. They know Crawford is towards the back end of his career, but they also know that Crawford's a winner. They know that too. So that's why you see so many close odds. But you know what? Hey, if all the Canelo fans out there, if y'all truly believe that he gonna win, truly, go put that money down on Canelo Alvarez. Let's go ahead and just make those odds way a lot bigger. So that way, the ones that are really willing to take that gamble on Crawford, we can make some money. Yeah. Bring that money up. Hey, y'all believe in y'all boy. Canelo, bring that money up. Yeah, go put that money down. Put your house on the line and all that. Do your thing. No, don't do that. Don't put your house online. I'm just kidding.
We don't want y'all to be homeless.
I'm just kidding, big dog. I'm just kidding.
Tim, but I think that's the scary thing about Bud is that, the nastiness in him, like he pursued this fight, and he didn't have to. He chased after the fight. And I think that might be the X factor that separates the two. They're both at the tail end of their career, right? But I feel like Bud is still nasty and Canelo is not quite as nasty. I mean, I'm not saying he's not, still mean and a badass. Of course he is. But I feel like kind of like one of your old friends, Manny Pacquiao. I feel like Manny Pacquiao towards the end of his career kind of got a little nice in there, kind of, took it easy on opponents, kind of, would take his foot off the gas. And I feel like for some of Canelo's fights, especially the ones that he's been handpicking here and there, I feel like some of those guys he's kind of let off the hook and he's kind of taken it easy on them. Obviously, once he knew he had the fight in the bag, but still, I kind of wonder how that might play into a fight where when it comes down to the stretch and he can't take it easy because the other guy in front of him is just as nasty, will that backfire on him? Will it be a situation where it's like, he needs to turn it up to that next gear, but he's forgotten how to?
I think Canelo gonna be more than ready for this one. I'm not really. Look, showing compassion is the weakness in boxing. It really is. Some will say that Canelo kind of took it lightly on Munguia. Berlanga. I would say maybe, but at the same time, I know how much he's been. I know how long he's been in the sport. 66 fights. That's a lot of fights, man.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of wear and tear on his body.
He's had surgeries.
Yeah, surgeries, injuries, you name it, man. Father time as well. So I can see that definitely taken away from a bit of his stamina. However, I think for this one, again, he gonna be ready. He gonna have to be ready. Canelo doesn't strike me as a guy to take guys lightly. I think he works extremely hard, and he knows that a loss, he's not sure what's going to happen if he loses this fight, but I know he doesn't want to lose this fight because out of his mouth, he said this fight's easy, so he's going to be looking to make the fight easy. But for the most part, I think Crawford, this is a chance for Crawford. This is mainly a chance for Crawford to show the entire world, man, that he's the best fighter on the planet. That's just it. After this, there should be no question, and that's what he wants. He doesn't want no. He's willing to take that risk, so there's no question of who the best fighter on planet Earth is, and he truly believes that with all his heart. So he gets this win. It's huge. I don't know how big it is. I really don't. But I just know that I follow history a lot, in the sport. There has been guys that have gone up 15 pounds and have beaten other fighters like Bernard Hopkins have done it. Canelo has done it himself. But I don't think there's been anybody in the sport of boxing that ever came from 135 all the way up to 168 pounds and beat the best guy out there. So this would be uncharted territory for the sport. Where that ranks at, you know, I don't know. I gotta, again, it sounds crazy, but you know, Crawford will be considered definitely one of the best fighters on planet if he can get this win on planet Earth, or this generation at least. But as far as overall, I don't know where that'll put him. You know, I'll let the fans decide that where he's put at as far as that goes. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight, man. I'm excited, and this is the fight that I feel this is the fight that I feel that everybody's gonna be tuned in to watch. I really do. I think the casuals gonna tune in as well. I mean, Canelo, he attracts the casuals in general, but you know, with that name, with having that name, Bud Crawford, I think everybody's gonna tune in because of him, because they want to see if he can be great, man. If he can be great. So great fight, man. I'm glad it's happening.
This is the fight that all the people that tuned in for Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, they should tune in for this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Bud's gonna give you everything he has. Win, lose, or draw, he gonna give you everything. You know, Canelo's gonna give you everything as well. You know, I think for me, you know, there's been a couple of blueprints out there on how to beat Canelo. There has been. You know, I mean, way back when he was younger, and then even when he went up to 175 and he tested the water there and he faced against Bivol, there's still a way of knowing how to beat him. Canelo's going to have to create a way on how to beat Crawford. And it's not going to just be with just pure pressure. You know, he's going to have to outthink him. He's going to have to outwork him. He's going to have to outmuscle him. It's going to be after the combination of everything to be able to beat Crawford. So.
Ooh, heck of a breakdown, Tim. I appreciate that.